Richest criminals in the world. This is Ismael Zambada Garcia. He replaced El Chapo as head of the Sinaloa cartel. He hasn't been photographed since the 1990s, but his narcotic smuggling cartel makes $39 billion every year. Zambada's personal net worth is $12.6 billion. Dawood Ibrahim is the richest gangster in India. He runs a gang called D Company. Dawood makes his money from racketeering, extortion, and smuggling. D Company also does assassinations, and they're behind various bombings in Mumbai. Dawood Ibrahim is thought to be worth around $9 billion. Semyon Mogilevich is Russia's richest gangster. He makes his money from racketeering, extortion, and fraud, as well as narcotics and weapons trafficking. Despite his place on the FBI's most wanted list, he is a free man in Russia. Here is what El Chapo's prison cell is really like. El Chapo is the leader of the Sinaloa cartel. He escaped from prison twice, but in 2016 he was finally taken to America's worst prison. That is ADX Florence. But what is El Chapo's prison cell really like? All over the prison there are pressure pads to know where people walk. El Chapo's cell is made of only reinforced concrete and steel. There is a concrete bed and a small concrete stool. There's also a metal toilet and a metal shower. And the shower is on a timer. This is to make sure El Chapo can't drown himself behind bars. His cell is absolutely tiny, and it's also soundproof so he can't talk to anyone else in nearby cells. There will be no escaping for El Chapo this time. Since ADX Florence was opened in 1994, there have been 0 escapes. It's safe to say El Chapo will spend his final days behind bars. Billionaires who lost all their money. Sam Bankman-Fried created the cryptocurrency exchange FTX. Users gave their money and thought they were getting bitcoins, but in reality all they were getting were IOUs. Sam misappropriated $4 billion of users' funds. When people caught wind of this and tried to withdraw, everything came crashing down. FTX went into bankruptcy, and Sam's net worth went from $27 billion to $0. A few days ago, he was arrested in the Bahamas, and if convicted, he could face a 115-year prison sentence. This is Elizabeth Holmes. She made a medical company called Theranos. She had said she had technology that could analyze blood in a new way. Theranos was valued at $9 billion, making her net worth $4 billion. The only problem was the whole company was a big scam. The technology was totally fake and didn't work. Her net worth went from $4 billion to $0, and she was sentenced to 11.5 years in prison. This criminal used a mask to make himself look black, causing an innocent man to go to jail. This is bank robber Konrad Zderak from Ohio. He robbed various banks wearing a super realistic black face mask. He bought the mask from a Hollywood special effects company. The mask was so realistic, an innocent man was wrongly accused and arrested. And even the wrongly accused man's mother thought it was him in the photos. Konrad, the real robber, was only caught after his girlfriend found the mask. His girlfriend found the mask and lots of cash in his wardrobe. After seeing the reports of the robberies on the news, she called the police. So Konrad's girlfriend snitched on him. But that's a good thing, as it meant an innocent man was finally freed. Convicts reacting to death sentences. This is Markeith Lloyd. He was on the run for ending his girlfriend and unborn child's life. That's when he was spotted at a Walmart. Police Lieutenant Deborah Clayton pulled up to arrest Markeith, but Markeith shot her outside the Walmart. Eventually Markeith was apprehended, losing an eye during the arrest. He was given a death sentence by the judge. When he heard this news, he freaked out in court. He began saying that he was being set up, and the police were trying to kill him.
But somebody else I absolutely don't know nothing about, and they framed me.
This is Caius Veiovis. This man is a killer and also a Satan worshipper. He had plastic surgery to put horns on his head, and got the number of Satan, 666, tattooed on his forehead. He was a member of a motorbike gang, and was arrested for kidnapping and killing 3 people. Many compared his looks to the Star Trek character Gul Dukat. He was given a death sentence for his crimes. This is Martez Abram. One day while working at Walmart, he threatened a co-worker. For this, he was fired. So the next day, he came to the Walmart armed and ended 2 people's lives. He also tried to set the Walmart on fire, but thankfully was stopped. He was given a death sentence in court, and when he was showed his crimes, he also freaked out and began crying. Scariest criminals in the world. This is Nico Jenkins. He may look scary, and that's because he is. He has lived a life of crime, but in 2013 he went on a killing spree. He took 4 people's lives in 10 days, even taking one of his victims' lives in front of their child. Nico was arrested and police asked why he did these terrible crimes. Nico did an 8-hour interrogation with the police. Nico said the people were sacrifices to the ancient Egyptian god Apophis. He was sentenced to 450 years in prison, but this was later upgraded to capital punishment. Another scary criminal is Richard Ramirez. Over the course of 2 years, this man took 15 lives. He gained the nickname the Night Stalker, and in court was given 19 death sentences. Longest prison sentences ever. This is Pudit Kitharadilok from Thailand. In 2017, he was sentenced to 13,275 years. This was for a fraud where he stole $160 million. This is Alan Wayne McLaurin from the United States. He was sentenced to 20,750 years. This was for taking the life of an elderly woman. This is Othman El Ganawi from Spain. He was sentenced to 42,924 years. This was for the 2004 Madrid train bombings. This is Chamoy Thipayazo from Thailand. She was sentenced to 141,078 years. This was for a $204 million fraud. These are the most dangerous prison inmates in the world. This is Jason Barnum from Alaska, USA. He was a known burglar, but that's when one day a cop tried to arrest him. Jason then tried to end the cop's life with a firearm. Thankfully, the cop lived and Jason was arrested, but he soon went viral for his scary tattooed eye. This is Joseph James D'Angelo, better known as the Golden State Killer. In the 1970s, he burgled 120 people and took 13 people's lives. He was only caught in 2018. This was after new DNA evidence proved Joseph was the Golden State Killer. This is Michael Campbell. He looked like this in 2003, but 10 years later, he looked like this. He was arrested for crawling into a woman's bed while she slept. I really can't think of anything scarier than that. Criminals who escaped from court. In a Russian court, this man tried to escape using the ceiling. This is 18-year-old Leonid Gracer. He took the life of his own sister, but thankfully his courtroom escape was foiled by police. In 2018, this man ran out of court. No one expected him to get away because there's a button that has to be pressed to open the doors. But he made a secret plan with a friend to open the door. You can see how his friend pushes the door button. This allowed the man to escape from court, but he was later arrested yet again. Look at these women leaving court. They were supposed to go on a prison bus back to jail, but these 2 women snuck underneath the bus. They then tried to run away, but unluckily they were caught by police who realized what they were doing. In Washington, these 2 suspects ran out of court. That's when the judge takes off his robe and chases these 2 men. Amazingly, the judge actually caught these 2 runaways.